The lowest rank in the top division of sumo wrestling is not always the same. It currently sits at Maegashira 17, but in the past, it has gone as low as Maegashira 23. Being at this rank is a precarious place to be. If you don't get a winning score during the tournament, you are most likely to be heading back down to the Juryo division. If there is a tournament where it is crucial to perform well in, it is the one where you are ranked Maegashira 17. You'll spend your tournament facing other lower ranked Makuuchi wrestlers, and the occasional Juryo competitor who is being bumped up to the top division match because of scheduling needs. This is of course how it is regardless of your sumo rank. In most circumstances, you are wrestling the people ranked around you. For Maegashira 17, everybody you face is ranked above you. You are fighting just to stay in the top division, so thoughts of somehow pulling off a performance of a lifetime and winning the tournament is so far beyond the realm of possibility that you'd be a fool to even entertain the fantasy. You are just too focused on getting your 8 wins. However, a fool's hope can sometimes be the only type of hope that you need. Sometimes exceptional opportunities come your way, and your fool's dreams become reality. I think that Tokushoryu Makoto is a perfect example of this sentiment, not just in the context of sumo wrestling, but in the context of life as well. Tokushoryu Makoto hails from Nara Prefecture, and he entered sumo wrestling in January of 2009. After a steady rise through the ranks of the lower divisions, he arrived in the Makuuchi division for the first time in July of 2013. Nothing incredibly remarkable or exceptional, but a respectable progression considering some competitors toil for over a decade and never make it past Makushita or even Sandanme. Outside of an 11-4 Junyosho performance at Maegashira 16 in January of 2015, he would generally hand in average scores of 6-9 through to 9-6. All but one tournament was contested in the middle to lower Maegashira ranks, all the way through to September 2016. Tokushoryu spent most of the next few years in the Juryo division, and even picked up a Juryo Yusho in 2018. Tokushoryu was proving to be a solid second division wrestler, who would make an appearance in the top division every now and then. A respectable life as a journeyman Juryo division wrestler is nothing to sneeze at. It's a salaried division, and even though you can't have your matches sponsored for bonus payments, the salary pay makes for a comfortable living. Despite the competitive spirit demanding more, of course, there are plenty of good sumo wrestlers who did much the same for their whole career. Recently retired Azumaru is a perfect example of this. No flash, no pizzazz, just meat and potato sumo that gets the job done, at least reasonably well, and puts food on the table for not only his family, but his stablemates too. In November 2019, ranked at Juryo 1, Tokushoryu finished the tournament with a score of 8-7, which was just enough to bump him up to Makuuchi once again. He was placed at the very bottom rung at Maegashira 17 West. Tokushoryu started the tournament in strong form, finishing the first 7 days with a score of 6-1, only dropping a match to Maegashira 16 Kaisei. Even this strong start alone would have come as a surprise to many, and it certainly would have boosted Tokushoryu's confidence leading into week 2. The positive feelings were most likely short-lived, however. Tragedy struck Tokushoryu's personal life on the 7th day, when his mentor from his days in the Kindai University Sumo Club died suddenly at the age of 55. Tokushoryu's relationship with him was so strong that his Shikona, wrestling name, was based in part on his mentor's name. Tokushoryu continued forward with strength and precision, and entered day 14 of the tournament with a score of 12-1, holding equal lead score alongside Maegashira 4 Shodai, who was the man he would be facing that day. Tokushoryu defeated Shodai and went into the final day of the tournament as sole leader, which provided him with a second chance playoff opportunity if he were to lose his scheduled day 15 match with Ozeki Takakesho. Something that is most certainly worth noting here is that before facing Maegashira 4 Shodai on day 14, Tokushoryu had not faced anybody above the rank of Maegashira 8 during his first 13 matches. This is of course in accordance with the range of competitors he would usually face at the rank. As stated earlier, you don't face the top rankers or even the Joijin, if you were all the way down at Maegashira 17. In what was an incredible display of perseverance and skill, Tokushoryu defeated Takakesho with convincing and strong sumo, becoming the first person since the year 2000 to win a Makuuchi tournament at the lowest rank. And perhaps more importantly, the first man from Nara Prefecture, which is the birthplace of sumo wrestling, in 98 years to win a top division tournament. Tokushoryu immediately burst into tears upon realizing his victory, and English language commentator Murray Johnson called the victory with elation and passion. I still get goosebumps even thinking about it, let alone watching the clip. It made international sports news, and rightfully so. The flip side of this victory was that Tokushoryu's 14-1 propelled him all the way up to Magashira 2 for the March tournament, being promoted far beyond where he had ever been before. This leap in rank came with more difficult opponents, and sadly for Tokushoryu he had slipped out of the top division within a year of his Fairy Tale tournament victory due to continuous losing scores. The stars most certainly aligned for Tokushoryu during that faithful tournament, but it was evident that his abilities had been exceeded by his results. Tokushoryu's victory came with some criticism in the aftermath, many pointing to the fact that Tokushoryu's schedule for the tournament was incredibly light for a tournament winner. He didn't face anybody above Magashira 8 until the final 2 days, and he didn't face either of the Komusubi or Sekiwake wrestlers, of which there were 4. The criticism was not baseless, as it was stated by the JSA after the tournament that from then on if a lower ranked top division wrestler was heading into the second week with a score as strong as Tokushoryu's, then they would begin facing much higher ranked opponents sooner than day 14 and 15. Funnily enough, it only took until July of that same year for another Magashira 17 to win the Makiuchi tournament. This time it was Terunofuji, who we all know would soon become a Yokozuna. If we compare their schedules, they aren't actually that different outside of Terunofuji facing 2 Sekiwake in the last 2 days. This has led to some within the community saying that Tokushoryu's Yusho was weak, and in more extreme circumstances saying that it was either undeserved or just flat out invalid. I tend to push back against this type of rhetoric, because whilst the source of the criticism carries weight, there are no rules in sumo that say you must defeat wrestlers of a certain rank to win a tournament. On top of that, Tokushoryu was beholden to the schedule he was given, and 14 of the 15 wrestlers he faced were of higher rank than him, because literally everybody in the division was. Both Komusubi and Sekiwake ended up with only one wrestler with a winning score between them. Both Yokozuna had pulled out early in the tournament, and Takakeisha was the only competing Ozeki. Tokushoryu defeated him convincingly under immense pressure on the last day, so it wasn't a case of him being saved from a match with a dominant top-of-the-ranks wrestler because of favourable scheduling. Do I think that a Yusho victory where a wrestler defeats multiple Ozeki, and perhaps 1 or 2 Yokozuna is more impressive than what Tokushoryu achieved? Objectively, it's hard not to. Would he still have won the tournament if both Yokozuna hadn't pulled out, and he had faced them in the last 3 days? Probably not, but it was also exceedingly unlikely that he won the tournament from M17 in the first place, and he still managed to do that. Tokushoryu most assuredly benefited from a healthy heaping of luck and circumstance, but Tokushoryu worked hard for over a decade to put himself in a position to benefit from that luck when it came around. Hiro Morita often says on commentary that the best ability is availability, and wrestlers like Tokushoryu are a prime example of that. He was there, he was on, and he rode his opportunity right to the end. His Yusho portrait hangs in the Kokugikan the same as all the others. There is no asterisk next to it. Tokushoryu's Yusho was a triumph for everybody who still dreams. Following those dreams and holding on to your hopes can be difficult as we grow older. And whilst Tokushoryu's Yusho at the age of 33 was not old by everyday life standards, it is most certainly past the prime age of a competitor in most sports, let alone a sport as hard on the body as sumo wrestling is. Tokushoryu is retired now, and coaches at the Kisei stable. He ended his career with 553 wins and 570 losses across 87 tournaments, and statistically is just about the very definition of average. In spite of that, he was able to make it count at the perfect time, and leave his mark on the sumo wrestling world by making the most of the golden opportunity afforded to him. And at the end of the day, is that not what we all want to do? Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed yourselves and learnt something. I look forward to making more of these and interacting with you all and much more. Please consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this, and also consider following me on X/Twitter.